Hey friends, it is looking and smelling just like Christmas over here. I'm in my little office studio. I call it Santa's Workshop this time of year, and I can't wait to show you this gingerbread man craft. It's really cute, really cheap to do, and easy. So before we get into that and the supplies and everything, just be sure that you are subscribed and you're following me. This is my favorite time of year, and I am going to be pumping out the crafts. This is my first Christmas video for 2023. And let me show you what we're making. Gingerbread men and houses and mugs and all the things gingerbread are all the rage this year. And we are going to turn one of those Dollar Tree tiles into the sweetest jumbo gingerbread man decoration. Now I've got him hanging over here on my little tree just so that you can see some ideas for decorating. You might also spot a little gingerbread house right there. Sorry, my finger there. There it is. I have a few hanging along my garland back there. Those were also made with the same tile that we're going to use today. So what do you need? Well, if you can find them, get a few, because these plastic, they're a self-adhesive wall tile from the Dollar Tree, and they have a wonderful embossed texture to them that gives them the look of like old vintage ceiling tiles. Now, whether you can find this one, or I know that there are some blue and white ones out there, it doesn't matter because we're going to be painting them. So grab them. I think I bought about 5. And sorry, wow, I should have taken it out of the package already. Just get rid of that glare. So here's what it looks like close up. You can see that it's flexible and it is self-adhesive. We're not worrying about the adhesive part of it today. So I'm going to lay that down. So you need, if you're going to make a jumbo gingerbread man like this, you're only going to get one from each tile. I also grabbed this little guy from Dollar Tree, and he was my pattern. As you can see, same size. If you want to go a little smaller, like I have this large cookie cutter. Let me show you the two for comparison. Okay, so he's quite a bit smaller, but you'll get more. So that's just totally up to you. All right, so you need some kind of gingerbread man cut out, your tile, you're gonna need a Sharpie, and then you're gonna want some paint. Now, if you want to do, here's the thing. I love sharing these ideas with you, but you guys make it your own. Do what's easy for you. I, first of all, painted my gingerbread man with this Waverly white, creamy white chalk paint. And then I let it dry. I'm just going through the whole process with you here before we do it. Then I brushed on some Elmer's glue. The whole point of that was I was trying to get a crackle appearance. But here's the thing. Crackling works great on a flat surface, but if you were trying to crackle something with this much texture, it's not really going to turn out so good. Let me show you this other tile I was working on because I'm making some Christmas trees also. And this one I crackled, and you can see a little bit of that right here. But honestly, for the extra step and the work, I don't think it's worth it. So what I'm going to do today with this one, I'm going to start with the white, hit it with my, I have a craft heat gun tool just to help it dry. And then I'm going to go on with this chestnut, just like I found this at Walmart. And it is, I think I have another one because I'm probably going to need another one. It's the perfect gingerbread man color. What else was I going to say? Okay, so for this was the first guy I made. And I went way too heavy with my paint, and it took forever to dry. So today we're going to just go with light coats. Even if some of the, you know, the original color, the gray gunmetal color shows through, I'm okay with that. So I'm going to flip my phone around because today is also No Makeup Saturday and you don't want to be staring at this face for too much longer. So let's get this project started. Okay, I think we're good to go. Rather than tracing my gingerbread man on the front of this tile, I'm going to flip it over and trace it right on. It does say peel off. If you'll notice in the corner, we're not going to peel anything off because that is sticky and we don't want to deal with that mess. So here's what you need to decide is kind of take a look at the front and decide where you want your gingerbread man. This guy that I made, I did him over to the side as much as possible because I was hoping to get another one, but he's too big. But like I said, I used the excess to cut those little gingerbread man houses, which turned out really good. Not gingerbread man, just gingerbread houses. So I think I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to put him over on the side, and you can see that I'm tracing him with the bumpy parts up. I tried to remove these and I couldn't. It's not that big of a deal. We'll just work around it. So we're just going to trace him. Your Sharpie's going to kind of make a little jog when you get to those bumpy parts. But that's okay. All right. So there he is. And then we're going to cut him out. Oh, you know what? Last time I actually painted him first, but this might actually be easier and help you to really see what I'm doing. So just go around. Like I said, I drew on the back so that when we remove this back piece, nothing will have Sharpie on it. And, you know, I thought about painting the back, but in all honesty, who's going to actually see the back of an ornament when it's hanging on the tree? So we're not going to bother with that extra step. What's going on here? I have seen people transform these tiles into, gosh, let's see, pumpkins, probably the most recent. I've seen Christmas trees, mittens, which actually I'm using part of that girl's idea for getting the layered paint today, although I took it my own direction, which I think is always fun. It's fun when you are inspired and then you take an idea and you make it your own. Okay. What's going on here? All right, that plastic may shift on you a little bit. So just realign it and then continue cutting. I'm also working, another craft that I'll be sharing with you soon is some fabric gingerbread men. If you like primitive decor, these guys are absolutely adorable. They're scented with cinnamon and coffee and vanilla, and you can make them as grungy and rustic as you like, or cute and charming, and they're adorable, tucked into stockings, even a coffee mug. Okay, so let's get rid of our trash, and now you'll see this part comes off and there's nothing sticky. So this plastic bit, if you peel that, I guess there's a sticky surface. I don't know, we're not bothering with that. So when we flip him around, we just have the super cute gingerbread man. Now I think I might actually, I'm thinking, this is my work surface, but I would prefer not to get it filthy because I'm going through paper towels and baby wipes, and I just ran out of my roll of craft paper that I usually use as my surface, so I don't want to get this filthy if I can help it. All right, so I'm just going, oh, we're doing the white first. And, sorry, I thought I was prepared, but, all right, that has green. I do have a brush. All right, there we go. So just give your white paint a little stir to make sure it's mixed up. And when you stir it, you have enough juice, enough paint in the lid that I may not even need additional. Now I will say, when you are brushing, because this is such a highly textured surface, you may just want to pounce on the areas that don't seem to be taking any paint. And that's what I love these foam brushes for. They just make that job super easy. Now I just realized I forgot to tell you that you also need some fine sandpaper. I'm using one of these. It's a sponge on one side, sandpaper on the other. It's very fine. That's just going to help bump off some of the gingerbread colored paint when we get further on in the process to help some of this white paint show through. And like I said, if you want to just do a solid coat of the gingerbread and not worry about trying to get a layered, more vintage look, that is perfectly fine. You do what works for you and your budget and your home and your time. I think this would be a really fun craft to do with the kids. I mean, we're just about, it's Thanksgiving week this coming week. If you usually bake cookies with your kids or watch movies, maybe suggest a craft this year and see what they say. You guys could make a whole bunch of gingerbread man and have them all ready to go to decorate your tree. I should have worn my gloves, but I always forget, and then my hands are usually covered in paint. Okay, you can see there's a light coat on that. You can actually see some of the gray through, but I find that if you do too heavy a coat, it just doesn't want to dry. It takes forever to dry, and we don't want to take a lot of time. So I'm going to hit it with my heat gun just to speed up the drying, and then we'll do the second coat. So a couple tips when you're using your heat tool. They're hot, and make sure you're moving it constantly. I do also like to turn the gingerbread man sideways while I'm working so I can hit the other, because this has lots of raised bumpy edges. I want to be able to make sure I get it all evenly. And you will notice that, especially with chalk paint, it will go from shiny to matte. I have one little spot that's a little bit shiny still here, so I'm going to just dry that one. But you do want this coat to be completely dry before we go to the brown. Okay, so let's paint the gingerbread coat next. And for this one, I'm actually just going to, I think I have enough paint in here, blob it on them. We'll add more if we need to. Whoop. All right. If you don't have this color or you can't find it, you can mix your own gingerbread color using brown paint and orange, because it does have that orange sort of tone to it. Like I said, I found this paint at Walmart. It's like 58 cents or something, and I may have to go grab another bottle because I'm running. There we go. I think I drained that bottle. Too many gingerbread crafts. Now I'm going to dry this one coat with my heating tool, and I think we're going to need another coat because this one does look fairly streaky. So I'm going to speed up my video so you don't have to watch me dry this, and we'll come back when he is ready to go to the next step. Okay, that second coat really helped. And before we move on, I just want to make sure the paint is totally dry. So I wanted to talk about some options with you. If you like to go the extra mile, you could make 2 of these. If you want a more substantial gingerbread man, make 2 and put the other one on the back so that each side is painted. You could lightly stuff the gingerbread man with some polyester fiber fill and either hot glue it together, or while the 2 pieces are held together, sorry, English is not easy today for some reason, go around the edges maybe every inch or ½ inch with a tiny little hole punch, and then you could either stitch it, like do a blanket stitch or something, or just an up and down running stitch. I think, you know, with red baker's twine, wouldn't that look cute? That would just add a lot of extra cuteness to what we already have as cute, and that would also give him a little more substantial feel because he's very flimsy, and especially adding the polyester stuffing. So just an idea. So before we embellish him, we're just going to hit these high spots with a little bit of sandpaper. Oops, I had a spot of paint there that was still damp. All right. You do want to make sure it's definitely dry, but I'm having to rush this process a little bit. So you can see just with a tiny little bit of effort, on those raised spots. Wow, right? I think that right there is what I love about these tiles, is that makes it look old. Gives a little extra texture. So cute, right? Now, another idea is while the paint is still a little bit damp, you could sprinkle on some cinnamon and just work it in with a brush. What else could you do? Well, as far as embellishing goes, you could cut out some big buttons. You could draw a face if you want. Because these have this, you know, not, what's that word? Well, it'd be hard to get a face on him because it's not even. I can't talk, I told you. There's no flat spot. So instead, what I'm going to do is just take a little piece of red homespun check that I just picked up at Hobby Lobby. We're just going to give him a simple little scarf. When you, I like to tear my fabric because then I can get these nice frayed edges with very little effort. You will have to pull strings, but that is what is giving you the fraying. And you could tuck in a little piece of greenery or berries. What else could you do? I mean, honestly, the sky's the limit, right? You embellish him as much as you want. I think we're just going to stop there with my little guy. So he matches his buddy. So now all I'm going to do is take a Christmas hanger and cinch it back here and then hang him on my tree. I hope you love this craft. I had fun doing it and sharing it with you. I love hearing your comments, so drop it below and let me know if you're inspired to try this. Happy holiday crafting.